Welcome back, my special Crowbotlet friends. I think I just had my thumb over the little microphone hole there. As you can see here, I'm changing all my weapons over on this to Wasp Hornets, and as you can see, as it went by kind of quick there, it moved its position from next to being next to the Bison to being much, much lower. That's key to tiering. So, I got a buddy, and he's playing in Tier 1, and he just got his Yamabushi, and we're playing in a match. I didn't leave that as part of this video. It was just before this, and I had my Bushi set up with the flames on the robot and Ghosts on the drone, and it ended up getting disconnected from the match, and I thought that's just stupid, so I'll start right here. Anyway, I was going to type a bunch of stuff in here as kind of a guide to how to drive a Bushi with Wasp Hornets on it, because these are really the weapons that this robot's meant to use. It comes with a shotgun on the side, but that's because that Hornet's a premium weapon, and they don't give you those in the game, so you have to get that yourself. But really, this robot is meant to use this particular weapon, and there's a lot of reasons why that I will go through as I play the game. It's about an 18-minute video, so there'll be lots of fun talking. Yay, I talk in this one. Anyway, this guy's been watching my videos, and he's been kind of doing some of the stuff that I've shown in the videos, and so I thought, well, why not give him a good example of how to drive a Bushi with the Wasps on it. It's a bit different because Wasps are technically the easiest weapon in the game to avoid next to the long-range missiles, which come up later in this match, and I'll talk about them then. Those are the easiest to avoid. These are probably the second easiest to avoid. All you really have to do to avoid Wasps is walk sideways to them. If you're firing the full 300 meters, by the time they get to where you were standing when they were fired, you're not standing there anymore. So a Wasp cannot hit a sideways walking Predator, even without the speed up module. But with the speed up module, the Predator can sideways walk every Wasp shot at it. And the only way to hit him is to trick him into not walking sideways to him. And there's fun ways to do that, but won't go into that just yet. All I'm really saying is that it takes a certain kind of forward-thinking, pre-planning, something like that, to use this weapon effectively, just because it's so simple, so easy to avoid. You notice I'm not shooting that guy. That's because he's a human, and I don't really want to be mean to him, so I'll let him live. Plus, those are the weapons that can't hit you. You'll notice that he's shooting them at me pretty much the whole time, and he hardly ever hits me with them. I'm worried about these guys that are shooting things that actually do harm me. Don't worry about people shooting long-range weapons. All you got to do is keep moving, and they'll do minimal damage, if any. So I'm trying to think of all the good advice that I've got for using Wasps. I'll talk a little bit about some of their downfalls. One of the downfalls of the Wasp is how slowly it loads. I'm sure I've got sights on this Yamabushi, because that's what you generally put on them. With Wasps, you want to use the ramrod, and it will greatly increase the speed at which they reload. The additional 100 meters of range that you get from the sights with Wasps don't really help you, because it's further that slow traveling missile has to fly to get to where it's supposed to hit something, and if that something's not there, as you can tell right here, my buddy got a Yamabushi invisible bug. I ended up talking to him in chat about what you should do when that happens, and mostly you should just kind of back out of the game, either restart the game, just close the game and reload it. Sometimes you come back and you're not bugged anymore. Sometimes you'll die, you have to bring a different robot. Otherwise, just kind of sit in the back and watch, or quit out of the game altogether. It's not good etiquette to remain in the game with the bug, and if you know how to activate the bug, that's a definite no-no. So this one's kind of interesting, because I told him to back me up and be behind me, and he goes way up here on the map. I don't know what he was thinking. I just sort of followed him. I love when you shoot at somebody and the weapons go past them and then all different directions. It's kind of a fluke of aiming, but anyway, his job is to back me up and watch what I do and see how it all plays out, so that he can kind of learn from my technique, and he'll adapt it to his own styles. But he gets to learn something real early in this match, because we were just talking about how you can shoot around corners. One of the advantages to the Wasp is they have splash damage, and we're going to give you an example of that. I'm basically telling him, you stay back here, I'm going to go up there, and you just back me up. So I went up in here, and I thought I was on the flag, but I wasn't. A lot of times if you go invisible, AI will still shoot at you, but they won't generally stay focused on you. So if you go invisible, a lot of times you can avoid, just sit on the flag till it's captured and then have somebody targeted and move. So basically I just kind of back out with this because I don't have any weapons loaded. They take a long time to get the full load. So I tend to back out a lot and just kind of wait for my weapons to reload, wait for my shield to regenerate. In the Bushi, I don't tend to dash until I start seeing some damage coming in. The shield will protect you from everything but lasers. Lasers and flames are really the only things you have to worry about. Otherwise, you can heavily rely on that shield that regenerates really fast. So I'm back up to full weapon load here, and I'm going to start taking some shots at this guy, but I need to see how far away he is. He's just a little over my range of 300 meters. Actually, I do have sights on here, so my range is a little over 300 meters. But you can kind of see me trying to shoot at him there, and I am doing him a little bit of damage. So I park myself behind some cover here, go invisible, zoom in, get my sights. Normally I've got a little crosshair in the middle there, but I didn't have that program loaded while I was playing today, apparently. And I just try and hit above that so I'm not hitting the building. And they're just kind of exploding right above his head. And you can see I'm doing him a little bit of damage. And my buddy in the other Yamabushi has figured that out. You can see those laser shots, but the missiles that are going up off his robot are from him, and he might even take them out. I don't remember. Let's see. Oh, I'm covering the microphone again. I hope you could hear all that. Yeah, he did take them out. So he learned how to do that after we were talking about it. He got the example from watching me do it right there, and that was kind of a cool moment for me. So now you see one of the added benefits of these missiles. That splash damage is nice. I'm kind of hoping these two robots line up for me. If you can get 3 or 4, as many robots as you can clustered into a group, that's something I really love to see when I'm slinging these missiles, because it will do damage to every robot in that group, and I tend to just try and pick the one with the most health in the middle of the group and just shoot all the missiles at them. And it's funny how many times 3 or 4 of the robots standing around them will blow up. And then once they're all gone, I do a bunch of damage to it, and it blows up too. It's really fun taking out 3 or 4 robots at once with this particular weapon. So there's some of the advantages to it. Like I said, the disadvantages are basically it reloads really slow, and it flies really slow. But you'll notice how fast it unloads. It only takes 2 seconds to fire all 10 of those missiles. And so you're going to see a spot right here where I do a little move I like to do with the dashers. It really helps with this one because you got you lose target lock whenever you dash, so whoever's there has to reacquire it. AI will reacquire it really fast. It takes humans a little bit longer, and a lot of times if you're going up against humans, you can just back up so you're behind your own teammates, and it takes them a few taps to retarget you. Sometimes you get a few shots in and then dash again. Try really hard not to use all your dashes up. And definitely don't use all your dashes dashing in on another Yamabushi or a Ronin. They'll take you out pretty quick if you do. You run out of dashes, it takes 5 seconds to refresh one, and in that 5 seconds you can take enough damage to not survive it. These really aren't very tough robots. They're considered a scout by the game, so they don't have as much inherent power for like leveling up, going up to the next tier. I think this is level 10 robot, and I think I had level 11 and level 12 weapons on it. It doesn't have a lot in the way of modules yet, so I think pretty much it's all blue, maybe, if that. Maybe they're all green, I don't remember. Modules definitely add to a robot's power, but all I'm really saying is that this particular robot is more powerful than the game recognizes it being. And the thing that makes it so powerful is those 4 dashes and that going invisible every time, and that little bit of staying invisible at the very end definitely helps, especially when you're running flames. So that was an educational match for him. He definitely caught what I was doing and did it himself, and he was actually the one that took that robot out. But with most weapons, you can't take somebody out that's hiding behind cover, but with this one you can. You just kind of have to be at the range that your weapon can shoot at, and then you just shoot right over their head. The weapon blows up when it reaches its range, and it'll do some splash damage, and you'd be surprised how many people I take out that way. And it's really annoying when it's a human because they think they're behind cover, and those missiles come in fast. They take 2 seconds to fire. They take a long time to get there, but once the first one gets there, 2 seconds later the last one got there, and they actually do pretty decent damage. My Bison in tier 3, I think even the one in tier 2, and here you saw the Bison was the top most powerful robot. It can take out just about anything with a full load of missiles if all the missiles hit. So if I'm shooting at a Paladin, or a lot of times even a Legionnaire, so what else do you get that's AI? That's big. A lot of that stuff I can just, as long as every missile hits it, it'll go in one, 10 missile load. So that's kind of cool. I have a way I can do this map. I'm telling him to get up on that bridge, but I don't think he gets up there. He gets behind this rock I just passed. He's doing a good job of backing me up. Mostly I just want him to watch me, to just kind of see how I play it. A lot of times if you're watching somebody else like you're watching me now, you might think, oh, I would do this now, or I would do that, and I'd hit the tap, I'd tap the dash now, or whatever you think that you would do in that moment. Watch what I do, see how it's different, see how the outcome is different than what you perceived your outcome might be. I try to play real slow and methodical, which is another reason I don't like playing up top. It's just too chaotic up there. You've got to do it all the time, and it just grates on my nerves to play at that level all the time, so that's why I kind of like to play a little slower game down here. Since we got a few more minutes here, I'll tell a quick story about, I don't remember what tier I was playing. I don't remember what tier I was playing in. I just remember that the Yamabushi I was driving had Wasp Hornet combo. It was 100% missiles. And I came across another person in the Yamabushi, and I don't remember what they were shooting. It was either shotguns or ghosts or something. And basically, I knew that we were both full of dashes when I engaged him. Finally, I didn't even see that guy behind him when I was playing until I killed that guy. And that's another thing you can do, is hide behind your teammates, and it will kind of make you harder to see by the humans. Anyway, so it was on this map, and it was in this vicinity right here, where that other enemy is that got targeted. And we started dashing at the same moment. And if you've done the Bushi dance, you know it's a dance of timing. You have to know your dash timing, you have to know their dash timing, and when they dash, it's a certain amount of time till they come visible. You have to be ready to hit the target lock, so on and so forth. If you're good at manual aiming, you should be manual aiming until they come up, then you should be able to hit target lock. There's just a dance your thumb has to do around the weapons and the dash and all that kind of stuff. And if you get really good, you get to a point where you hit invisible in the middle of a fight. Just to go invisible because you're out of dashes, and it disorients the pilot that you're fighting against long enough for you to grab a dash. As soon as you do, you go visible, you dash again. And I've had times where I've won a fight because I did that, and I would have lost if I hadn't. So there's all kinds of interesting tactics you can use with the Yamabushi, but it's technically a scout. It's not a tank. Don't use it as one because it won't last very long in the middle of a group of enemies. If you've got one enemy shooting at you, your shield will probably absorb it more than 2 or 3, and you're going to go down pretty quick, so be careful about that. Anyway, back to my Bushi story. I'm dashing, he's dashing. Every time he came visible, I would dash and shoot 2 missiles at him, just 2. And that would force him to dash again. So basically all I was doing was forcing him to use up all his dashes. We had the same number of dashes because we were both full when the whole thing started. We got to the end of it, and it takes 5 seconds to refresh your next dash when you're out. And it takes 2 seconds for these weapons to unload. I was really close to him, so it didn't take very long at all for him to get there. And his robot just went poof when all 10 of those missiles hit him. It was an amazing moment for me because I'm fighting a regular Bushi with either shotguns or lasers or whatever it normally has, and I beat it with a Bushi running these Wasp Hornets, which just to me was crazy. Anyway, it felt really good, and it'll probably never happen again, but you can kind of tell I'm just taking this guy's damage. He doesn't want to stop shooting at me, so we'll just take that problem out. I'm getting real low on health here, so it's getting kind of sketchy, but sometimes when I do that, I'll just completely switch targets. You might see me do that a couple of times here. There's another guy coming up on my side. That's probably that guy that was shooting at me there. That guy right there, and then that guy. So, go invisible. And there's no guarantees here, because I got a lot of humans at me, around me, and they will keep shooting at you. So there's this guy, and he's full of health and a Gepard. And I dash in, shoot all those missiles. By the time I'm invisible, I'm dashing back out. But instead of going in on him, he's almost dead. I'm going to dash on this guy who wasn't expecting it. This is the kind of stuff you got to do when you're almost dead in a Bushi and you don't have any dashes left. I don't worry too much about hounds. They just don't do that much damage. The other thing about those missiles, Hounds, Wasp, Hornets, the Sky thing, the other one, whatever it is, Botfly, I guess it is. This guy's lagging. Probably saved me. I don't know. The splash damage actually goes through a shield. So whether it's a physical shield or an energy shield, some of that damage will pass through the shield and do damage to either the shield of the robot if it's got a physical shield or the bot itself. So it's another one of the advantages. Every time you see me shooting at something that's got a shield, you'll see just a teeny bit of that damage go through, and as soon as the shield's gone, it chunks the damage on the robot pretty hard. They actually do a pretty decent amount of damage if you can get them to hit. And that's why I like to conserve them. Only fire as many as you need. Sometimes I can tell a robot only needs one missile to be dead, and I'll just shoot that one missile instead of firing a few. I'm just playing with this guy because it wouldn't take but 2 missiles to take him out, so I think why not just have some fun. And now we're down on flags. We're technically losing, and it's just 1 against 5. This guy's doing really good. I kind of feel bad for him. I'm basically telling my teammate I'm going to grab that flag, you grab the other flag. He's not paying any attention to flags though. But it's all good. He's having fun. You having fun? You're having fun. He'll see this video too, so that'll be cool. Getting more videos with people that watch my channel. I enjoy doing that because it's fun watching yourself play. You learn a lot just watching yourself too. Aha, he's over there now. He's going to go grab the B flag, which ain't nobody grabbed. This guy's a really smart player. He's impressed me in this. So player 669. Need my glasses. Can't read. You're doing a good job, man. Flag control is epic. And you're against 2 Bushis, and I would have just quit out if I was you. Yeah, we're just having fun, though. There's a couple times I just let his missiles hit. Those Hounds are fun, but they don't do much damage. Fun story while we're finishing out this match. I was playing. You can actually go back in my videos to... it was Christmas. Might have been 2021. I don't remember what year it was, but they had come out with this patch or update to the game. And they put antler horns on everybody's robots. It was kind of cool. They haven't done anything cool in this game in so many years. I'm trying to teach him here that you can go invisible, and when you hit the dash button, you still dash, whatever direction you were facing. So he's just dashing around and not quite catching on, but he'll catch on when he sees the video. When you go invisible, then dash, it works, and that can save your butt sometimes, so don't forget about that. Anyway, the story was I telling the Hounds. I was actually playing with the Hounds. They were 600 meters. They didn't do a lot of damage, and they didn't go around obstacles. But they did follow a target. So say, for example, you shot them at somebody, and I was using them on a bison, so I'd jump up in the air, I'd shoot them, and say the person dashed away, but it was in an open field and there wasn't any cover anywhere. They could dash away, and the missiles would follow them and hit them. But if they dashed behind something, behind a building or something, they would crash into the building instead of going around. And the first time I noticed that they were actually going around stuff, it was while I was recording a video. And I even got behind one of my teammates and fired him off, and they didn't hit him in the back, and it just freaked me out. I was like, oh my god, they fixed him. This is so cool. But they immediately became the OP weapon in the game.